Well, hello, everybody. I got a question the other day from one of your colleagues about being able to use digital measures to get your grade distributions for faculty within your units. And so I walked them through how to build their own report, and I thought it would be a good idea if I just put together a quick little video showing you how to build your own report within digital measures, because you all have the ability to create your own reports and export that data from the scheduled teaching so that you can then have a spreadsheet of all of the course grades within your unit, and you can use that in any way that you may need to as you're doing annual evaluations. So the first thing you're going to need to do, of course, is log into digital measures, and once there, you're going to go to reports. And up in the upper right hand corner, as you all know, there's this create a new report field. So just click on create a new report. You're going to want to export data, and it's going to take you to the create a new report page. Once you're here, you can select a variety of different things. You won't be able to select everybody, obviously, because you don't, as directors and deans, you don't have access to other people's information that's outside of your area. But nonetheless, you'll be able to pick and choose among the various things that you want to look at there. You might just want to leave it as the default. You can always change the date range, so maybe you just want the spring. So this will capture the spring just fine because we haven't uploaded summer or anything for fall, obviously, yet. I'm just going to leave those dates alone, but again, you can change the dates here. When you're here on whom to include, you can check enabled and disabled. Might be a good idea for you, given that you may have had adjuncts or other faculty that may have left and their accounts have been disabled, and you need to capture that information for whatever reason. Maybe you're doing an accreditation report or something of that nature. So always feel free to make your change there. I'm just going to leave it as enabled only for this demonstration. Then you're going to go to data to include. You're going to go here and you're going to change the selection. On data to include, you're going to uncheck include all. You're going to go to system details, and you're going to put in that you want the user's first name, middle name, last name, and email. You need something to identify the instructor by in a way. You don't need to select any of this other stuff. It's really not that important for you. So just select that. Then also come to common items. Find scheduled teaching. Click on that. And then pick what you want out of the whole list of things that you have. So you can build the report any way you want. But I would suggest you minimize the number of things that you have selected here, because it's going to make your spreadsheet large, obviously, if you have a huge number of things checked. But of course, you're probably going to want the term. You're probably going to want the course name, course prefix and number. Maybe we just want the course prefix and number. You could have the course name if you wanted that. You might want the section number. I seriously doubt you're going to want anything else here. You're probably not going to want that, or the official. You might want the official enrollment number. That might be a good thing for you to have. I'm going to leave it unchecked at the moment. Obviously, since we're talking about grade distributions, we're going to want each one of these grades. And then I think that's probably all we're going to want for this particular thing. Now, once we have everything checked that we want, we simply come down here to save. Click save. And that has everything set up. Now you can group by discipline. So many of your schools, as you know, have multiple disciplines. So maybe you want to group them by discipline. Right now I'm just going to leave it as none, but you can select whatever you want here. And of course it's going to output this as a Excel CSV file. So once we have this built, we could actually run the report. But if you run the report at this point, you're really going to have to come back and reset these settings every time you want to do this. So I recommend you go in and save this as a report name for you. And so I'm going to save this as grade distribution report. And again, you can name it anything you want. It will only be available to you. I won't be able to see that report. It'll be a report that you have in your reports list. And next semester, when you're ready to run it again, you could just go in and find the grade distribution report and tell it to open that one, change your date range, and move forward. So I'm going to save that. And we are now ready to run the report. So I'm going to run our report. Now I'm running the report on the entire university, so it'll take a little longer than it'll probably take you to run that particular report. And so we now have that report. I can open it up in Excel. And what you'll see is I have the entire institution's grade distributions for the spring semester. And you can see that's an awful lot of records. We have a lot of sections of courses taught at the university. So this is about 3457 over the course of the spring semester. So we do an awful lot of teaching. I'm scrolling through fast because it's not really important that we focus on anybody's particular set of values. But what you'll see are the name, their email address, their user ID, the term, so spring of 21. You'll see the title of the course. You'll see the course prefix, the course number, the section, and then you'll see your grade distributions. So all of those grades are going to be there. And what I would recommend you do, if you're familiar with pivot tables, this is a great place to actually use a pivot table. And so you can build your own report and make it look nice simply by using pivot tables. I would recommend that you, if you're not familiar with pivot tables, go to YouTube. YouTube has an awful lot of very nice short videos on how to make the most of pivot tables. But just real quickly, what we would do is we would put our cursor, if you will, here in A2, just in this one cell. I'm going to go to pivot table. And what it's going to do is you'll see that it makes this little dotted line around the data field. And so that's the data range. And so I'm just going to click OK. It's now going to build the pivot table into the next sheet. And here's where we can do what we want to do. So I'm going to put in a filter of well, not a filter, excuse me. I'm going to do a row. Let's see. Let's do the course prefix and the course number. Okay, so here you can see it's the marine science as the first one up at the top, and then it gives all the course numbers. And then I'm going to put in the name. I'm going to put in the last name of the person who taught the course. Okay, so now I've got it broken up by the prefix, the number, who taught the course. And now to get the individual course distributions, I'm just going to simply take students who earned an A and put over here in the sigma values. And you can see it's starting to tell me the students who got A's. And then I can obviously put in students who earn B's. And I can build this out to where I actually have an entire grade distribution within my pivot table quite nicely. And so you can build this out very easily. You can put in filters as well. So maybe you want to filter by name or whatever the case may be. You can build that out. Again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on pivot tables. But this pivot table could then be your grade distribution report. If you wanted to, you could also include what's called a pivot chart, which would give you a graphical representation of your grade distribution as well. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to close out Excel. And if you go back to, I'm not going to save this. Of course, you'd want to save yours. Since I saved the report, right, if I go back into reports now, under my reports listing, and I go down to grades, so there's my grade distribution report. So it'll appear in your, since you've built this report, you have to go in and actually build this report. It will appear in your reports list. Next time, all you would have to do is come in, find your grade distribution report, however you named it. You would select it. You would come in, you would change the date ranges that you might want, and then you would just run the report again. And so very, very quickly at the end of each semester, when we have all of our scheduled teaching information uploaded into Digital Measures, you'll be able to generate your own reports for your school or the disciplines within your school, however you want to do it. And so, yeah, I hope you found this informative, and no longer will you have to worry about getting reports from something else. Of course, you all know you can get similar information out of Helio Campus in terms of course success, but that really aggregates things into like C or better is considered successful. And this is actually probably quicker than trying to search through Helio Campus for this type of information. So I would encourage you to go in and build your own grade distribution report. If you have any questions at all, feel free to set up a Teams meeting with me, and I'd be happy to walk you through, again, setting up the report if you run into any problems. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and for those of you, happy Father's Day, and I will see you all soon.